Does it feel like your child copies everything from their friends, even the bad stuff? Today, I want to show you how to turn that cycle around and use it as a powerful growth opportunity. Welcome back to Empowered Moms. For those of you who are new, my name is Sabrina Reagan, and I'm a child psychologist and a certified play therapist. So I know firsthand on watching our children pick up behaviors that are less than ideal from their friends. It can sometimes feel like a constant battle when you feel like you've gone over the behavior again and again and again, and you put rules and structure into place and family values, and yet somehow they still copy this behavior that you don't want them to bring home. Today, I want to cover some practical strategies to help your child break free from this negative cycle and build some really positive habits. So, why do kids copy behavior? There's actually some really good reasons for this. Kids are like sponges and they copy so much and absorb so much from the world around them, especially from those that they're closest to, including their parents, their friends, their peers, their siblings. This natural tendency to imitate can lead to adoption of some negative behaviors. If you're curious to know a little bit more about why kids copy, then watch my previous video. I'll link it in the comments. And let's move on to some really practical strategies of what you can do with this behavior. So the key to stopping mimicry or your child copying all the behaviors you don't want them to take home. So the first thing, really important before you do anything else, is to make sure that you stay curious and not critical. It's essential that you figure out the why behind the behavior before you choose how to respond to it. Because like I said before, there's so many reasons why your child might be acting this way, and the reason is going to inform the strategy that you use. So you can ask questions like, what do you think about that? And how does that make you feel? Or when your friend does that, how does that make you feel? So embracing curiosity actually fosters a safe environment for your child to come to you with anything. And this is something that you actually want them to do as they get older, especially when they're teens. Currently, I have this client whose mom just allowed them to have a social media account, but put a lot of restrictions that are kind of confusing around the use of this account. I encouraged my client to talk to their mom and ask questions. Well, why are these restrictions? Why can't I just have these restrictions or a little bit more free use? And the response that I got was that this particular individual is terrified of going to their mom, asking any information, whether it's positive or negative, because there's a fear of how big the mom is going to respond, how she's going to react. And so this client actually doesn't share anything with the parent. And this is something that you really don't want. You want to create a safe environment where your child is willing to bring everything to you so that they can sort and process and problem solve and make sense of their world with you. The second tip in terms of helping your child not copy and adopt so many negative behaviors is to make sure that you're being a good role model. You really want to role model what you want your child to do, because again, children copy those that they're closest to. And if you're close to your child, if you're their secure, happy place, then they're going to want to copy you. You want to make sure that you're meeting negative challenges or different things with your peers and your friends with integrity so that your children can watch this. And don't forget the phrase, do as I say, not as I do. That one really doesn't work. And why doesn't it work? Because one of the very key pieces to your child's behavior is that they role model those that are they're closest to. So I mentioned in my last video, the second year of attachment, the milestone that happens there is sameness. And so if they're attached to you, they want to walk like you, talk like you, emulate everything that you do. Kids learn best by watching you, how you act, how you talk, how you engage with other people, and they learn less by what you tell them. So you can tell them things until you're blue in the face, but if you're not acting out what you want them to act out, then they're going to be modeling your behavior, not your words. The next one is making sure that you're fostering really good social and emotional skills. The better in touch your child is with their emotions and other people's emotions, the better they're able to regulate what's going on inside of them with confidence and really good self-esteem. And when they're confident, then they have a good awareness of what's right and wrong. They have a good awareness of how they want to act in a situation, and they're not so easily swayed by their peers' behavior or responses to their behavior. And there's some really, really fun ways to develop social emotional skills. One way is that you can do charades or role playing where they pick different toys that they have, and then you can act out a different scenario that they experienced, how they responded, and then how they could have responded. And you can brainstorm responses that way. Other ways would be if you're watching TV or movies together, if there's a character doing something on a show, you can pause it, talk about what's going on for the character, talk about what the character could do and how the character could act in response to what's going on. Or you can do this with books as well. Or when you're out and about shopping and your child is along with you and something's happening with somebody in the store that you're at, you can talk about what's going on for that person, what they might be feeling, what happened previously that might have made them feel that way, and then how they can respond really well in that situation. All of these examples gives them practice in identifying emotions, talking about why someone might feel that way, and then brainstorming some really quality responses to that experience. Another one is that you want to teach empathy. So empathy really is the capacity to crawl into someone else's world and see it through their eyes, to understand to a deep experience what is going on for that person in a caring way. This really helps them understand the importance of making good choices with kindness and respect for everybody in their world. Another tip is making sure that you give them consistent reinforcement. So sometimes kids do things, they're going about their world, they don't even think about some of their actions that they're doing, whether they're copying behavior or they're doing their own behavior. And you really want to put a pause in their day, in their moment, when something really good happens that you want them to replicate by noticing, commenting, and letting them know how proud you are of that action. You're putting a period in that experience so they can give witness to what they did. And when they see that you're proud, again, because they have a good relationship with you, they want to do it again. So the more times you point something out, the more likely it is that they're going to do that again. And kids really, really, really need more positive reinforcement, more encouragement from you than you telling them that this behavior is not okay and here's the consequence. Because the way attachment works is we are driven to please those we're in relationship with. And so if they know what makes you happy, they're going to do more of that. So point it out as often as possible. If they do something, have a party and get excited for that. Other ways of doing this would be to create a wall of fame in your house and take a picture of something that they did and put a little blurb beside it. Put it on the wall so everybody can see. Even people that are new to the house, they come in and they can ask about it, and you can retell the story. Expand the audience with your child there to see how proud you are of them, that you're telling everybody in your world what they did. Another way that you can do this is have a journal that goes back and forth between you and their teacher writes down some really good things, big or small, that they did during the day. And then they bring the journal home and you read that journal in front of your child. And then you get excited for all of the things that the teacher commented on. This is really going to boost pro-social behavior and the values that you want to instill in them. The more emphasis you put on the behaviors that you love, the more likely those behaviors are going to be the ones that you see, and the less likely you're going to see the negative behavior. A final strategy, and one maybe that most people don't think about, but it's essential, and it's the foundation to everything that I've told you, is making sure that everything that you do is an effort to deepen your relationship with your child. As I said so many times through this video, your child, if they're so deeply in love with you, they are driven to please you. It's a biological instinct to please those that we're close to. You really want to strive to be the place that your child loves to be the most, the place where your child brings everything, good and bad, really exciting and really yucky. You want to be that safe space where they can process and sort things. You want to be that space where they know if they have something they want to do, you're going to do it with them. That you're the one that they want to do their activities with. The thing with relationship is that the better relationship you have with your child, the more positive that experience, those warm, fuzzy feelings, the more they're driven to please you. The more they're driven to please you, the easier parenting becomes. You have to ask them to do things less. You have to discipline and give consequences less because they watch and learn and mimic your behaviors because they're so deeply in love with you and because they're driven to get those positive words of encouragement from you. They really, really want to please you. So to do this, make sure that you have regular one-on-one dates with your child. And when you do these dates, let your child choose the activity that you do because you want to get in their world. You want to do things that they love to do. You want them to see that you're making an effort to get to know them on a really, really deep level. As long as that quality time is not TV and is not video games, it's more interaction and having fun and talking to each other. Another way to deepen your relationship is to know your child's love language. If you have questions about love languages, put that in the comments below and I'll do a video on that. There's some very easy ways of finding out what the love language is, and there's 5 of them. But find out what your child's love language is and then express your affection for them in that language. They're going to hear it only in the language that comes natural to them. Snuggle with them before bed. This is the time when so many stories come out. It's comforting, it's cozy, it's connective, and they want to tell you everything. Put the phones away during meal times and intentionally focus on their stories. This is the time where they're going to tell you everything that happened during the day, what their friend said, what their friend didn't do, what their teacher said, what they want, all the toys that they're looking at. They will tell you all the important things in their world during meal times. So make sure those phones are put away so that they can feel that their little stories are so important to you. All of this together will help them feel like they are so valued to you. And the more they feel that, the safer they feel in that relationship, the deeper their love for you, the easier parenting becomes, and the more likely they're going to mimic your behavior and not their friend's bad behavior. The other really, really key piece here is that attachment is like a magnet. So when you put a magnet together on one side, it's drawn to each other really, really tight and hard to pull apart. But when you flip one of the poles, it repels each other and it pushes away really, really hard. And so you want to be on the right side of the magnet. You want them to be drawn towards you and pushing the rest of the world away so that they adopt your values, your family culture, your expectations, not their peers. If that magnet flips and that attachment is to their peers and their friends, then parenting becomes so much more challenging and they're going to copy every single one of their friends' behaviors instead of yours. So make sure you're on the right side of the magnet. By staying curious, being a good role model, fostering good social emotional skills and empathy, encouraging the behaviors you want to see happen over and over again, and deepening that relationship with your child, you are going to empower them to be incredibly confident when they're out with their peers and friends and instill a really strong sense of self that they want to copy your behaviors and not all the negative behaviors from their peers. If you have other concerns or comments, make sure to drop them in the comments below. And if you want extra support and encouragement and ideas on this journey of parenting, make sure to click the link below and join our Empowered Moms community where we can create a nurturing environment for our children to thrive. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.